right, everybody, welcome to a very fun, new, exciting episode of Booking It with me, Jonna, your fave. I have with me the amazing author who is from London, so we get to listen to her awesome accent for an hour. Aren't we so excited? We've got the amazing D.A. Spruzen. D.A., thank you so much for being here. Thank you, thank you,
My
thank you.
pleasure.
Oh, so happy to have you here. I was so excited when I read that you were from London. I was like, oh, that means she has an accent.
No, I don't. You have an accent.
Yeah, I know I do. I absolutely do. I've never learned about my accent more than when I go to another place, um,
Yeah.
even like a different Midwestern state. I'm
Oh, I
like,
know. There's so many accents.
yeah, I was like, oh, I guess I'm
Dialect.
not. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. And then I just came back from Spain a couple of weeks ago, and the accent's like, I'm like, yeah, you can definitely tell I'm American over there, like 100%. Alrighty. Well, do you prefer DA or do you prefer Dorothy?
Oh, Dorothy is fine. Yes, thank you.
Dorothy. Okay. All right. Miss Dorothy, I am very excited about chatting with you because I have been reading the synopsi, however you say multiple synopsis, of your series, Sleuthing with Mortals, and they sound very interesting. And I know that you have one coming out October 24th, I think it
Yep.
is.
Yes.
All right. It'll be out October 24th as of day of recording. That is a month from now. Oh, look at that. She's even got the book. It's so pretty.
Yeah, my publisher has an awesome artist. Awesome.
Ah, this cover
Yeah.
is gorgeous. That green. Oh, so amazing. Okay, well, tell me about Sleuthing with Mortals.
Well, Sleuthing with Mortals is an urban fantasy, which means it has elements of fantasy and in this case mythology too, um, blending in with everyday present day life. And it starts out in the Northern Virginia suburbs, very much like the town in which I live. And it ends up gradually moving to the Chesapeake Bay to southern Maryland.
Hmm?
As the book opens, Lynn Thorin, a Norse goddess who is married to Hönir, otherwise known as Hunter, also a Norse god, the brother of Thor, actually, um, is hiring a young woman to ghostwrite her memoirs. So she will recline on a chaise while dictating her memoirs to Mary, into a recording machine, actually.
Hmm?
And Mary will put them into, as she put it, good English with chapters and everything. And so this goes on. So we hear an awful lot of tales from Lynn's wanderings through many eras and cultures over thousands of years.
Hmm.
So there's an awful lot of historical fiction in this, as well as mythology. And
Okay.
I do like to write historical fiction.
Ooh.
So I have a book called The Blitz Business set in World War II England,
Ooh.
and that's historical fiction.
Ooh.
So anyway, things go on, and Mary actually becomes one of the family in more ways than one, and the family sort of expands. And Mary also has an aunt who joins the family.
Hmm?
All kinds of things happen. Loki, I think one should say, puts in an unwelcome appearance from time to time. And he is a wicked character who Lynn has managed to make an enemy out of. So there's all kinds of confrontations and battles and nice things too, nice journeys, nice trips,
Hmm?
lots of trips to foreign climes. In the second novel, they go to Egypt, and there are lots of tales about ancient Egypt too. In the third novel, The Knight, the Gnome, and the Fox, the knight is, I don't know if you've heard of the Lewis chessmen. No. There was a trilogy which, what triggered my fancy about the Lewis chessmen is I read a trilogy about them that featured them,
Hmm?
written by a Scotsman, I guess, and it was set in Lewes, where these chessmen were found. A storm uncovered a berm where these things were buried,
Hmm.
parts of several chess sets, apparently, made from a whalebone. No, not whalebone, sorry, walrus tusks, the ivory from walrus tusks. And there's some discussion about where they're actually from originally. They're very old.
Hmm.
Some of them are in a museum in Edinburgh, and a lot of them are in the British Museum, which I have seen in the British Museum. Um, the Norwegians say they were done in Norwegian in Norway, and the Icelandic people say they were done by an Icelandic woman. And I plumped for the Icelandic version because that suited my story. So we have an account of Lynn's visit into 13th century Iceland, and we
Goodness.
spend quite a bit of time there. And she's watching some of these things being carved and comes across other kinds of adventures too, with a troll and so on and so forth, and the hidden people. Um, so there's a lot of wandering through Europe and various other countries in these books.
I love wandering through Europe. I mean, I've only been to Spain, so I don't actually like know about the rest of Europe, but I feel like it'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, yeah, it is.
So I'm guessing, so it seems like all the books follow the same characters. So
They
Mary,
do. They
Lynn,
do.
okay, okay,
And I
all right.
forgot to mention there's a murder mystery in each one as well.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Love a good murder mystery. Watching Columbo in the background right now as we speak. Um, so what gave you the idea to add these urban fantasies with murder mystery and then have it kind of be this like I mean honestly it sounds like a pretty easy job for Mary. She's just sitting there having to listen to Lynn tell about her life and then she's just like, "Yeah, no, this is great. This is so
Oh
great.
no,
So
she
good."
takes a pretty active part in all of this. Believe me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what gave you the idea for something like this? Because, it seems like it starts off like, pretty like, okay, it's like Lynn's like, hey, I'm just gonna get my memoirs done. It's fine. And then it seems like just shenanigans seem to ensue
They
um
do.
in every book. So, what gave you the idea to kind of write these books and have these characters doing these things?
Well, I started off actually just thinking of one book. What happened was that I went into a kind of slump. I started to write a sequel to my first historical novel. Then one of my brothers died. Then my dog died. Then my other brother died. And I just sort of didn't have the energy to do anything. I didn't feel like doing anything.
Hmm.
And then I thought, this is ridiculous. What you have to do is do something completely different. And I've liked reading some fantasy. I like, Lord of the Rings and that kind of thing. Um, so I thought maybe fantasy. I spent quite a bit of time in Sweden in my youth, and I used to speak Swedish. So I like the idea of the Norse pantheon rather than the Greek and the Roman, which has kind of been done to death. Um, I like historical novels also. I love mysteries. I read them all the time. So we've got all of this running in here, and it sort of came to me as I was doing the Turkish connection, which is the first, that I would maybe as I went along, I was involving all these different aspects of books, really cross genre, which publishers tend to sniff at, but mine didn't, fortunately. Um, then I was in a workshop some years ago. And she said, I called it Sleuthing with Mortals. She said, that sounds like a title for a series.
Hmm.
And she was a New York agent. And so I thought, oh, okay. And then I saw on Facebook somebody who was an author with my publisher, Four Horsemen, who had just said, oh, I just signed a 5-year, 5-book deal and da 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 da. And I thought, oh, have a look at these people.
Hmm.
And it turns out that they only do series. So the series was born, basically.
I love that. I love that. So so there's so 3 books out, one more book coming out in
Right,
October.
right.
Do you have any plans for any more of the books, or is number 4 kind of where you're gonna taper off.
No, number 5 is in progress,
Nice.
and that is set again by the Chesapeake Bay. And I don't know if you've heard of Chessie.
Yes.
Chessie is the Chesapeake Bay version of the Loch Ness Monster.
Nope. You lost
Loch,
me.
okay, the Loch Ness Monster is a mythical, I think,
Uh-huh.
monster who lives in Loch Ness in Scotland.
Uh-huh.
And that's been, a myth that's been going around, legend that's been going around for God knows how many years.
Huh?
And there have been claimed sightings and so on, but nothing's ever been proved. So I thought, well, let's have a monster in the Chesapeake Bay too. Actually, there have been tales of Chessie in the Chesapeake Bay. I think the first rumor came out in about the 1930 or something like that.
Uh-huh.
And people sort of took off with it. You know how people are wont to do. Uh, so I thought I'd take off with it too. And I also found out about the kelpies in Scotland, and
Uh-huh.
they are monstrous creatures. They definitely are mythical. They are, I think they're made out of foam, and they come to haunt humans as horses,
How true.
rising from the waves of the lochs,
Ah.
and they're deadly. They try to entice people into the lochs, and yeah, they're
How,
very dangerous creatures.
how stressful.
And they're old. That's old legend.
Yeah.
I figured I'd sort of weave some of that into.
I love a good urban legend. Those are kind of my faves. Like, the like the Loch Ness Monster, or like I can't think of any more off the top of my head. That's like really the only one. But like, oh,
Mm,
like El Chupacabra, like, stuff like that.
mhm,
Like those things, I'm just like, just because like like the story that we have of it now is like some completely ridiculous blown out version of what it originally was like a
right.
hundred years ago. So like it's funny to see how people kind of take it and run with it in different ways, and then some people just kind of take it as fact,
Yeah,
so
that's
yeah,
right. That's
you know
right.
it's just like Bigfoot. Like people have been searching for Bigfoot for like like 200 years or
That's
something
right.
like that.
Well, Chessie is lonely and needs someone to play with, so
Oh,
they have to find him a mate.
okay. Nobody likes being a lonely monster. Monsters need love too.
That's right.
All right, so you're currently working on book 5. Do we have a
Mhm.
title? Can you tell me the title of book 5, or is that a
Not really. It's going to
secret?
have Chessie in it,
Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha.
but
Okay.
I haven't finalized it yet.
Okay. That's cool. That's cool. I just thought I'd ask. I love a good sneak peek, and I love knowing things that other people don't know. That's my favorite thing. Um, so while you're writing, since I mean, you kind of had to like plan out, not even really like plan out, like you had the one book and then you were just like, well, I guess we're gonna write a series now. Are you whenever you are starting a new book, are you planning it or are you pantsing it?
I start off pantsing it, and then I plot it. Then I do an outline. I make a start. This time I'm doing something a little different. I'm writing scenes, or not necessarily just scenes, events.
Mhm.
Like I've written the event how they had to go to Scotland to find the mate and bring her back,
Nice.
which meant swimming across the Atlantic and through all kinds of underground caves. And I don't know what to get to the Atlantic in the first place.
Ah,
So, yeah, so I've written that. And I've written, what else did I write? Um, hmm, I can't remember now. But anyway, prior to this, in this book that's coming out in October 24th,
mhm,
um, Yggdrasil has stopped growing. Now, Yggdrasil, the tree of life in the Norse pantheon,
mhm.
Lynn snapped a twig off it when she was helping her near to safety. She
Mhm.
actually survived the battle, though the myth tells us that no one did. And she plants it everywhere she lives, but it never thrives. It doesn't die, but it doesn't thrive either.
Mhm.
Once one of the bad characters has been killed, it starts to grow. So they plant it in their new estate on the Chesapeake Bay, which is very large. And it grows and it grows and it grows. And when it stops growing, they figure it probably has reached Asgard, the Norse heaven.
Mhm.
So Hunter climbs it. And then we see all kinds of things unfolding.
Dorothy said the amount of shenanigans that ensue is crazy.
I would say so.
Oh man, I love that. We love shenanigans. Okay, so Sleuthing with Mortals, um, all of those up until book four is already out. And then book four will be out in October, and then we're waiting on five.
Right.
Can't wait. I do want to briefly, or not briefly, whatever you want, touch on your historical novel, The Blitz Business.
Mm-hmm.
Please tell me about that. And did you ever get around to the sequel?
I've done about half the sequel,
Gotcha.
but then I started on this other series, so I put it aside.
That
But I
happens.
will get back to it. Uh, so
Happens to the best of
there's all
us.
kinds of things going on in the Blitz business too. The protagonist is a 15-year-old boy who has mild mental retardation.
Hmm.
It's alcohol fetal syndrome, actually, as it turns out. And he lives with his grandmother and his cousin in the East End of London. And eventually they are bombed out. The grandmother is killed, the cousin disappears briefly, and he's wandering around and picked up by a warden. And he has all kinds of adventures. But he is a young man of some talent. He becomes very good at gardening. He finally makes it to the estate of a aristocratic family in Hampshire, in the southwest part of England, and he develops a talent for gardening. He also has rather a philosophical turn of mind, even though he has the mind of a 10-year-old maybe.
Hmm.
And he's a good kid. He has some flaws. One of his flaws is that he loves shiny things like diamonds.
Me too, honestly. Same. Me too. Me too.
Gets him into trouble from time to time, of course.
Uh,
But there's trouble with the cousin who is a crook and tries to kill him actually. And there is espionage, and there is yeah, all kinds of things going on before he makes it. He is also forced by the authorities to go into a home for, well, in those days they lumped them all together, whether
yeah,
they were mentally retarded or mentally ill
yeah.
or whatever it was, or cerebral palsy. One of his best friends has cerebral palsy.
Mm,
So everybody was all lumped in together.
yeah.
And of course, people were not enlightened at all. Neighbors, not. I was on the board of an organization that provided residential services for the intellectually challenged. I was on the board for about 10 years, so I interacted with the population quite a bit. And Jamie is a mixture of two or three of the young men that I knew.
That sounds like a lot.
So there's espionage, there's also mystery, um, all kinds of things.
Ooh. So you've mentioned mysteries a couple of times. What kind of, I'm guessing you read mystery books since you kind of write mystery books. Do you read mysteries too?
Oh, yes.
Ooh, who's your favorite
British,
mystery writer?
well, British mysteries mostly. I like P.D. James. Of
Hmm.
course, I started off with Agatha Christie, like many people. I have all her books here. About 30, 35 years ago, I subscribed to the Agatha Christie book club. I had no idea how many books that woman wrote. I have, these are double shelved, back to back in a bookshelf.
Oh
I
my
mean,
gosh.
I mean, oh, went on for about 3 years, once a month.
That's a lot of books.
Yeah, yeah. But
I
and I like John Lawton,
mm,
who writes a detective series set in London, and the detective is from a an aristocratic family, and of course he's not taken seriously at first because it's not common for the person from that kind of family to go into police work, especially at that time. We're talking about just before World War II, during and
mm,
after the series covers. And so he has all kinds of adventures dealing with the criminal element during this time. And often famous people are brought into it. For example, he secretly takes the key to Khrushchev to a pub. And John Lawton is a very good writer, apart from telling a good story. He's a good writer.
okay.
And it's a fascinating series.
Mm. You know, you're the second author I've talked to who's talked about Agatha Christie, and I've never read an Agatha Christie book. And I mean, I love a good mystery. I mean, like I read all the, Nancy Drews and like all of that
Mm.
stuff, but like I've never read an Agatha Christie.
Oh, you
So
have a treat waiting for you.
I know. I think I tried to listen to what was it? The Murder of something Ackroyd or something like that.
Roger Ackroyd.
Yeah, I tried to listen to that one on Audible, but I didn't like the narrator's voice.
Mm. Yeah,
So I
that's
couldn't listen.
important.
Yeah, for
Mm.
audiobooks are definitely like if I'm gonna listen to an audiobook, if the narrator's voice isn't good, I it takes me right out of
Well,
it.
it's not every book that's suited to Audible either.
Hmm.
Because I tried to listen to a friend's book actually, and her books are quite humorous and they're very readable. They're American, you know, but it just didn't come across as funny. It got a bit boring on Audible,
Yeah,
um, which was disappointing.
yeah, yeah. I think sometimes like the narrator just doesn't get the like inflection or they like don't actually
Mm.
get the joke of the book and I'm like, no, like
Mm.
because when you read it, you're like, oh my God, that's hilarious. But then you hear it and you're like, is it hilarious?
Right, right.
Um, are you are you leaving? Okay. That was one of my cats. He was like rubbing up against my leg and I was like trying to pet him, but he was like going away from me.
Wants to
Mm.
punish you.
They're always doing this to me. Like they're so mean to me. And like all they're gonna do and then once I'm done doing this, like they're just gonna ignore me.
I haven't had a cat for a while. I used to have about four cats and three dogs.
Nice.
But I had someone who came and cleaned on Saturdays.
Hmm.
And if I were away, 'cause we go to the Chesapeake Bay a lot, she could take care of them, feed them and so on.
Yeah.
And now I don't have her anymore. And I just have one dog because I can just put him in the car and take him.
Yeah.
Cats don't like to be moved around.
You know, one of my cats does not mind like being in his carrier or being in the car. Like he just kind of makes himself at home anywhere.
That's good.
But my other cat, he like you would honestly think that I was kidnapping him the way he acts when I put him in his carrier and put him in the car. Like he loses his mind. It's it's honestly it's embarrassing.
My son actually has a feral cat. He was living in Bahrain for about 7 years. And this cat was outside and she was continually being harassed by this big tomcat.
Mm,
And the tomcat killed her kittens, actually. And so he finally got the cat in and sort of tamed her, but she's not completely tamed. He brought her back
yeah.
and she's very devoted to him, but he has to sedate her before he can put her in the carrier to take her to the vet.
Yeah. That's kind of where I am with like and like I've had and like my it's my orange cat who acts like that. And like I've literally had him since he was a kitten. And like even when he was a kitten, he would act like that in the carrier. Like
Mm.
he just goes nuts. And I'm like, "Bro, like we're coming back. Like I'm not taking you any I don't know what he's gonna do if we ever move houses." Like he's gonna lose his mind. But my gray cat, like I'll just put him in there and he's just like laying in the carrier like, "What's up,
Whatever.
mom?" Literally, like he just lays there.
Oh,
Like,
that's nice.
yeah. I think it's honestly, and I hate to be that person, but I think it's just because he's with me. Because
Hmm.
he's like super, I'd hate to say it, but he's like super obsessed with me. And
Hmm.
like when I try and leave in the morning, like I can't leave in the morning because he'll like block me from going down the stairs.
Oh.
Yeah. Like
Mm.
I'm like, sir, I have to, one of us in this house has to work and it's me. So like get out of my way. So I have to like give them like treats and then like run down the stairs so I can get out of the house before he beats me down the stairs. But like but if he knows he's going with me, like he gets in that carrier, I zip him up and he's just like, "All right, where are we going? I'm ready. I'm excited. Let's go on an adventure." And it's just the funniest thing.
That's cute.
He's very cute. He's a menace though. He is. He's right from. He's you can't see him, but he's like right here. He's a menace. He definitely keeps me. He's the youngest. So, he keeps me and my older cat like definitely on our toes a lot.
Keeping you in line.
Hmm.
Keeping you in line.
Look, I don't know what he's doing. He's stressing me out.
Mhm.
And he's gray, so he's really dark. So a lot of the time, like at nighttime, I can't like see him if I'm walking around the house. So I'll like trip over him or accidentally step on him. And I'm like, oh my God, I did not mean to do that. I love you so much. I did not mean to step on you. Please don't call the people on me. But he's like, nah, girl, it's cool, it's cool, it's cool. And then he bites me, so then like then we're even, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. Um, so anyway, so sorry about my tangent about cats. If you had unlimited budget, all the money in the world, I'd say, since it's a series, I'd say in the movie series, I would assume your books would be instead of like a television series.
Mhm.
In the movies, who would you have playing your main characters?
Oh, good heavens. I haven't the faintest idea. I don't, I don't go to the movies a whole lot, and I never remember the name of actors anyway. Um, it would have to be somebody very blonde and slim and beautiful to play Lynn. It would have to be a great big hunk to play Hunter,
Okay.
because he's very big, he's good looking, he's gruff, has, of course, blonde hair. Mary could be played by a younger version of Meryl Streep, but the other two I couldn't say really.
That's fair.
Yeah, I'm not. What the reason I chose those two gods actually is because Norse gods have been really, um, what's the word, cannibalized by
Mhm.
comics and movies.
Yeah,
So I did not choose gods that are well known.
that's fair.
Lyn and Hunter or Hönir actually occur in the Edda, which is the Icelandic myths of
Mhm.
the Norse gods. Um, but very little is known about them. Lyn was one of the three handmaidens to the goddess Frigg, who was married to Odin, and Hunter is the brother of Odin, but he's hardly mentioned.
Mm.
So I wanted characters that couldn't be sort of cannibalized and having people having preconceived notions about them and so on.
Gotcha. I mean, that makes sense. I didn't know
Yeah.
Odin had a brother, so that
Mm.
that I didn't know that. I've seen like all the Marvel movies. I didn't know that. So
Well, they wouldn't have bothered with him.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that is good to know. I don't know a lot about like Norse mythology. That is not something that they taught
Mm.
me in school.
Mm.
I mean, I hate to say it, but I only really know what I learned from the Marvel movies and
Yeah.
like the Marvel TV shows. So like, I don't know a whole lot about them. Um, but I do find like I think stuff like that is like interesting, and I love hearing about it from other people because other like I like when other people really like something and they like tell me about it, I'm like, please tell me more. I like
Mm.
learning. I love
Hmm.
learning about these things because people are like so excited that they learned this thing about it. And I'm like, oh, tell me more. I want to learn all about Norse gods. And I know I'll forget like what they tell me, but like I'll remember it like for like a pretty decent amount of time before someone's like, hey, do you remember when you told me about that thing? I don't. I'm sorry. I forgot. Life is too hectic.
Well, I know a whole lot more than when I what I did when I started.
Yeah, I mean, like, I mean, how many hours of research do you think went into writing these books?
Oh, a lot, because the portion set in Iceland, for example,
Hmm.
I had to know what the houses looked like, because we're talking about the 13th century. What the houses looked like, what they ate, how they coped during winter.
Yeah.
I I knew that the Icelandic people had one of the oldest democracies in the world, well, the oldest democracy in the world.
Mhm.
They had this sort of parliament that met every year, and just and laws were read out or memorized. Actually, laws were recited for everybody to hear, so they all knew what the laws were.
Mm.
And people were chosen to memorize them and recite them. And disputes were handled, all kinds of things were handled during that parliament. Then everybody went home again. And of course, people had to, it was a hard life. Those winters were hard.
I can
Uh,
imagine.
so I had to find out what they ate, how they lived. This woman, Margaret, the, what's her name? Margaret, the, forget what her name was, what her nickname was, but she was the carver of the ivory. And the bishop in this series, in this book, in this story, did exist in Iceland at that time. He was Norwegian because Norway didn't rule Iceland, but they would like to. So all the bishops were Norwegian, and there's a lot of Norwegian influence. And in fact, another thing I found out was that Iceland in those days was the culture uh, very cultural, and they actually provided the Norwegian court with poems and bards and all this sort of thing. And there was literature. Uh, so they were the cultured nation of that area,
Mm.
which was very interesting, I thought.
That
And the
is,
and these chess sets and these ivory figures were given as gifts to the Scottish kings and Norwegian kings, of course. Scotland came into the purview of Norway and Iceland as well. In the Orkneys, they were all part of this in the same region. That's why
mhm.
you have so many Scottish words that come from Norse languages.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, that sounds like a lot of research.
Even for the Blitz business, I was, my parents had a lot of stories about World War II. Of course, I knew a lot, but still, you have to do an awful lot of research.
Hmm.
And there were all kinds of things that I had no idea about to do with espionage and so on, what was
Oh
going
yeah.
on in England at the time.
Yeah. No, definitely a lot of espionage going on in World War II.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, no. If I learned anything, I mean after I got out of school, because in school you learn like the basics of you
Mm,
know, of whatever, but like when I got out of school and actually started looking into it and they started like making like movies and watching all the
mm,
documentaries and stuff, I'm like, oh goodness. There was a lot more going on than I thought that there was.
right, right.
Which I mean, I guess is probably true for any you know, big event in history. Like there's going to be a lot of like things going on that
Mhm.
nobody actually knows is going on, which is fine. It's
And
great.
in this book, also the last book, Odin's Word, the family goes to Austria
Mhm.
for a trip. And it turns out that Lynn has known an ancestor of the person they visit many hundred years before. And there is a very unsavory streak running through the family. So she realizes that he is a killer of young women, and she traps him. He was also a traitor during the war.
So I mean, somebody
Not during the
was,
war, I mean during the Cold War.
but you know, so somebody was gonna get him. It's fine. It's
So, that took a lot of research too.
yeah, that yeah. I think that's probably one thing about like I think I can appreciate about people who write historical because like even
Mm.
though it's fiction, a lot of it's like kind of based on fact and like you actually have to
Mm.
have
Oh, yeah.
like you gotta have those facts or like you're like you can't say like oh it's like you know like
Mm.
it's like it's not like historical fiction like if it's not actually based on
Right.
like his you
Well,
know.
the second book, The Witch of Tut, there's a lot of it set, sorry, in ancient Egypt.
Okay.
So I had to research what were their houses like. I've been to Egypt. I've been to the south of Egypt. I've been to the old monuments and so on. In fact, I've been to Egypt many times. But I had no idea how they made their houses, which were basically cubes set together.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay, goodbye. They keep doing that to me. I'm sorry. They keep rubbing up against me and I'm like, "Oh, okay, we're gonna pet." And then they're like, "No, just kidding." I'm like, "Okay, sorry." Um so it seems I mean, kind of seems like you've had to learn about a lot of different things with all of
Yes.
these different books.
Mm-hmm.
Um which I guess is cool. You can just kind of add all of that stuff into your repertoire, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and then, you know, just be spouting off some nice Norse facts at parties, you know.
And bore everybody to death. Yeah.
You never know. There might be someone at that party who's like, "What? Odin had a brother? That's tea, you know?" I'd be one of those people, honestly. I'd be like, "Really? Tell me more. I love learning things." Um, so I'm guessing when it comes to, you know, doing all that research and having to kind of get the story together, that you've probably have gotten stuck writing a time or two, gotten your
um,
writer's block.
Not really.
Really?
Not really. No. If I find myself a bit stuck about where to go next, I'll just do something else. Just
That's
write
fair.
something else.
That's fair. Yeah, a lot of people do that
Mm.
actually. I've learned that a lot. They're like, just stop doing it. They're like, just take a break. It's like,
For
what
the
do you
summer,
mean?
I went to a conference last weekend in Columbia, Maryland.
Hmm.
It's the Creatures, Crimes, and Creativity Conference,
Hmm.
and I usually go and I sit on a panel or two and so on. So they have an anthology. So I wrote a short story for the anthology. It was
Nice.
quite a long short story, actually, about 5,000 words, and that was about a witch. And I'm thinking about making that witch a character in a novel or a collection of short stories or something like that. Because
Ooh.
I rather liked her.
That's usually how it
Mm.
goes.
And
It's
she's
yeah.
she's very, very old. I mean, she's young and beautiful to look at, but she's very, very old, of course. So some of her powers are waning a little bit.
Hmm.
So after she's been flying for a while, she's kind of flops out. She's trying to get through a church wall, and she
Hmm.
bumps and scrapes herself quite a bit. Uh,
Goodness.
she's not as powerful as she once was.
Yeah. We're not as spry as we all once were, you know? It's so funny that you say that because I've, you know, some people like writers that I've talked to, they're like, yeah, no, like I definitely thought this was gonna be just kind of like a throwaway character or like,
Mm.
you know, just like something that wasn't gonna turn into anything. And then all of a sudden it's like, well, I guess I'm writing like a 3 book series about this person because I figured out that I love them so much and now they need their own story. So that's really funny that.
Well, I had actually written a trilogy called the Flower Ladies trilogy. I had self-published two of the books because I was writing the Blitz business, and you can't sort of peddle all these books all at once.
Yeah.
So I just published these two, and then my publisher, Four Horsemen, picked them up. If I wrote the third one, of course. So I
Obviously.
do that. Was that earlier this year? I think it was earlier this year.
Goodness.
And I do actually, in the Sleuthing with Mortals, in the first book, I refer back to an incident in the first book of the Flower Ladies trilogy
Oh.
regarding a murder that she had witnessed.
Oh.
And I think if I write this book about Arabelle the witch,
Mhm.
I will also tie in with the Sleuthing with Mortals somewhat, so that
Ooh.
people will recognize something.
Ooh. I like that.
So I don't know. I don't have a release date for that trilogy yet.
Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. Okay. Man, you're just a writing machine. Dorothy said, "We are getting these books done." Okay. I love it. Um, da. Are you reading any books right now?
Yes, I picked up this set on what was it? It must have been through BookBub, I guess, on Amazon of
Yeah.
15 books, 15 mysteries by the same author. It's a series, obviously.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I was like,
Yeah. 15 is pushing it, right?
that's a lot of
But
books.
yeah, I'm on number four.
That's fair. I'm
But
guessing they're pretty good then.
I belong to a book club, so I have to read something respectable for them from time to time. I also am a reviewer for Washington Independent Review of Books. So
Gotcha.
I've got one that I just submitted, and I submitted one in June, I think, that was online. They're an online reviewer.
Nice. That's funny.
Mm.
She said, I have to read something respectable for book club from time to time. Yeah, I felt that. I just took a break from my book club that I'm in because
Mm.
I've got too many things to do and I've got so many books on my shelves
I know.
that need my attention and my love. And I've been doing this more, and then I've also began like doing reviews for books too. So like it just
Mhm.
kind of was like, oh, well,
Well, I used to belong to two book clubs. Then I realized I didn't have time to read what I really wanted to read.
yeah.
So I just have the one that was my favorite book club with good friends.
Yeah. One day I'll get back to it, but right now my book club is just me reading a book and then telling one of my friends about it very dramatically. I just finished a book today and I was like messaging her. I was like, girl, I was like, I finished the book. And she was like, okay, wait, I'm not ready. She was like, did you cry? And I was like, of course I did. And she was like, okay, I'm not ready to hear about it yet. She was like, tell me about it tomorrow. And I was like, okay, I'll tell you about it tomorrow. Um, so we kind of touched on this at the beginning, but uh recommendations for other authors or books for people to read besides yourself, obviously.
Well, there was a book I reviewed. I think that was the one I reviewed in June. It's called um, Behold the Bird in Flight.
Mhm.
I'm very bad at remembering authors' names, unfortunately, but it's about Isabel of Angoulême, who married King John of England, the notorious King John, at the age of 12. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they had to be 12 to get married. And they weren't allowed to consummate the marriage until they'd had their first period. So, and they didn't actually, they abided by it because the priests told them they'd burn in hell if they did.
Okay.
So they would just seek comfort elsewhere.
Wow.
But yeah, well, yeah. So this kid, well, they mature very quickly, obviously.
Yeah.
They have to.
Yeah.
And she had a tough life. And she was in love with somebody else too.
That's the worst.
Yeah. But that was a fascinating book. And it was a debut author too.
A what?
Just a debut author, it's her first book.
Oh, got it. Okay.
So that blew me away that she could do such a great job, terrific job. Um, the last one I just did was Restitution.
Mhm.
And that was a couple who, and I recommend this too, a couple who couple of people who lived in the United States. Their mother was German. Um, their father was American. They used to go to Germany, to West Germany, every summer for vacation to their grandparents
Mhm.
in Bodensee in West Germany. Then the wall falls, the Berlin Wall falls. So the family was originally from East Germany near Leipzig. And they decided they will go and see if they can find the town that they lived in and even the house. Then the brother, who is a lawyer, decides he will try to reclaim the house for the family. Now, of course, this couple has been living there for years.
Mhm.
They claim they paid for it, but land records were so
Yeah.
spotty they couldn't prove it. So there was a whole lot of drama around that. And not only that, but a lot of secrets came out and betrayals and so on and so forth. Because, of course, in East Germany, in that kind of government, even your neighbors were informers.
Yeah.
And, you know, um, any kind of dissent was very harshly punished.
Yeah.
And the grandmother was able to get out before the wall was built. It still was hard to get out, but she managed because she had a letter saying her mother was dying in West Germany. But
Gotcha.
the grandfather didn't come out for 5 years, I think, 5 more years. So anyway, there were all kinds of secrets and betrayals and family drama. So it was a well done book. Again, another debut.
You know, we love it when they come out of the gate strong.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
oh yeah.
That I I've read a lot of like first like and I don't even like know it's like the author's first book or whatever. Like I'll just like see
Mm,
it at like Books a Million or like Barnes and Noble and I'm like, "Oh, like I'll get this or whatever." Then I read it and it's like in their debut novel and I'm like, "This was so good. This is their
yeah,
first book ever? That's
yeah,
crazy."
yeah, yeah.
Like that's insane. Those books sound very interesting. And I love the I personally love the drama, okay?
Mhm.
Love the tea. That is me 100%. Hello. Hello, kitty cat. What's up? Do you want to talk about it? You leaving now? Okay. Okay, bye. Okay, bye. Like, okay, in case you're wondering, I'm still here, Mom. Yes, I know. I know you're still here. You can't go anywhere. You can't open doors.
I had a cat who could open doors.
That's crazy.
He was tall, and we have doors with handles.
Ah, okay. See, I
So
don't
he
have,
would, yeah,
yeah.
he would hurl himself against them, and even ones that ordered, there was a terrific row. It sounded as if people were breaking into the house, but he'd open even one that would come towards him.
Oh my gosh. That is crazy. I have like regular doorknobs, so like they can't open the doors, but
Great.
like
That's a blessing.
well, so the way my apartment is like set up, like it's kind of like Jack and Jill like doors. So like
Hmm.
you go into the bathroom, you can get to the bathroom like through my bedroom and then like through like the living room. And so like there's two doors in there. And so like when people are here in my home, I politely close the door when I'm going
Oh,
to the bathroom because that's what polite people do. My cats can't comprehend having the door closed
they don't
and
like
like
those doors.
the the
Yeah.
way like and like I'll try and close my bathroom door doesn't close all the way. But like it closes like enough where I'm like, okay, surely like they're not gonna just bust the way they just bust in there, like very aggressively, and then if people are here, they'll like and like if I'm out here and someone's in the bathroom, they'll just sit outside the bathroom door and they're like, what are they doing in there? And I'm like, why are you watching the door? And they're just like, Mom, they disappeared in there. Are you not worried? And I'm like, no, because they're coming back out, but I guess they go nuts about the bathroom door being closed. And I'm
Mm.
like, it's like they'll just sit and stare at it. And I'm like, I don't understand, but okay, whatever. Who am I? I'm just a mom. What advice would you give aspiring writers?
I would say what my mentor says. He's a professor who ran my MFA program. Um, don't attrish. By that, he meant attrition.
Hmm.
Don't let attrition take you down. Just keep going. I would also say definitely take classes. If you've, I was a technical writer. I was manager of publications for a high tech company for a while, quite a while. I've had students, because I teach, I've had students who have written PhDs, and they fail to understand that creative writing is a different animal. You go about it in quite different ways. You know, when you're writing a computer manual, especially for the military, you had to write at a fourth grade level.
Hmm.
You start with turn the rocker switch on, and you go on from there. So, um, creative writing is quite different, and people have to understand that. And the best thing to do is really to take classes. For one thing, you need another pair of eyes on your work.
Hmm. I would agree with that. I would
Yeah.
agree with both of
So
those
book groups
things.
are very good, very helpful too.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna try and join like a writing group or something like that.
Mm. I teach on Zoom now. I teach a critique workshop, and they're mostly people who've been through all my classes.
Hmm.
And I've taught several over the years, and some of them have been with me 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, I haven't taken because my bachelor's is in creative writing.
Ah,
Um, but I haven't taken a creative writing class in I've been graduated for 8 years now.
well, you can go to conferences and sit in on panels. That's helpful too.
Yeah, I might start doing that too. I've been trying to do more bookish type things, like go to like book conventions and like stuff like that. But like it's
Mm-hmm.
just really my algorithm hasn't gotten to where it's telling me about all the book conventions yet.
Mm-hmm.
So I haven't gotten there yet.
Yeah.
But I'll get there eventually.
Mm-hmm.
But I just I don't
And
know.
I'm on the faculty of the Tinker Mountain Writers Workshop, which takes place in June at Hollins University in Roanoke. And it lasts from Sunday uh, afternoon through Friday lunchtime. And it's workshops and lectures and fun,
Ooh,
readings. People love it.
that
And
sounds
people
fun.
tend to come back year after year.
Ooh, that sounds fun. That sounds like something that I should go
You'd
to.
enjoy it. You'd enjoy it, I think.
Yeah. I mean, as much as I like complain about writing and blah blah blah, I really do love it. It's one of my favorite things to do.
Yeah,
It's very like, you know, gets me out of my head and into like another place. Just like reading.
yeah.
You read to kind of escape a little bit. So I write to do the same thing.
Well, I'm in a zone when I'm writing, so
Yeah.
I don't like to any interruptions.
Yeah.
I don't like to have to think about what's for dinner because I really don't care.
Yeah.
I can just be in a zone for hours.
Yeah. That's that's 100%. I've definitely been like just sitting here just like clacking away on my keyboard, and then I'm just like, oh man, this is great. I'm doing so great. Da 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 da. And I'm just like killing it. And then all of a sudden, like my phone rings, and I'm like, where are we? And then I'm like, oh
Yeah.
no. And then I answer the phone, right? And then it's just
Mhm.
like, okay, well now all the steam that I had is gone.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. You can't always escape life.
Ugh. Boo. Alrighty, Miss Dorothy. One final question for you, and that is, where can we find you on the socials?
On Instagram and Facebook mostly. I opted out of X. I haven't done much on TikTok.
That's okay.
I have to get better at that.
Look, I've been doing TikTok for a couple years, and I'm still not that good at it, so
Yeah.
it's fine. You don't have to be good at TikTok. There's lots of bad people on there, so it's totally fine.
Yeah.
All right. Yes? Okay. Just wanted to passive aggressively rub up against my legs again. Okay, well. Miss Dorothy, aka Miss D.A. Spruzen. Thank you so much for being on Booking It with me. I hope that you had a great time.
I did, and thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Appreciate
I'm
it.
so glad that you could be here. For those of you watching, I will link how to get Dorothy's books in the description. I will link her socials. And please make sure you rate, review, and subscribe to the channel because it'll help because maybe one day I'll get paid for this.
That would be nice.
Yes. Please interact with the video. Please leave comments, all of that fun stuff. And if and then I will see you guys next time. I'm booking it with a new author. Bye.